What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It is a beautiful Tuesday, and I am very excited to be back with you today for day 3 of the 30-day bootcamp. Man, I'm excited. This has been a very fun series to put together, and man, I know you guys are going to get so much out of this, especially if you stick with me through the whole month of May. There's a lot of content that's going to be coming out here. It's going to be really good. So if you missed the first couple days, I highly recommend you go back and you watch the mindset and then the mindset and beliefs videos that came, the first 2 days of this workshop. Mainly because those are really the most important parts of this entire thing, okay? You've got to have the right mindset. You've got to have the right beliefs. Well, today we're going to go a step further, and we're going to go into futurecasting. We're going to talk about what that is, how to essentially set up goals for the future, and know what you're working towards. And this is one of those things. Again, you don't build a house, and I have a slide on this, so you'll see it in a minute. But you don't build a house from the roof down, right? You build it from the ground up, and you start with the foundation. And the foundational pieces are very important to have in place. So, with that being said, I know you guys want to get to some of the marketing and the strategy and some of the sales and all that stuff, and we're gonna get there, right? That's all very important stuff. But what I want to share with you and continue to share with you is that none of that matters if you don't have these core things down first. Mindset, beliefs, and then futurecasting, knowing what you're aiming at, right? Having the target clearly in sight and having a clear objective, okay? So without any further ado, I am going to jump in right now. We're going to share screen. We're going to hop right into this for today, guys. So again, we're talking about futurecasting, and if you've been with me for the last couple of days, you'll know that I had the little square at the bottom. I've condensed it. I've got a little circle that I'm going to sit in now, so even more screen time for you guys to see the slides, okay? So let's just dive right in and talk about futurecasting, and I want to give you guys some notes here. Now, first and foremost, like I just said, you don't build a house by starting with the roof. That is a very inefficient way to build a house, and in fact, it's not very likely that you'll get anything done. You've got to start at the ground level. So you start with the foundation. And I love this sort of like word picture, because if you have ever looked at a build site, like you've ever gone out to where they're building houses and you look at it, you'll notice it starts with a completely flat slab. They build the foundation, and then they start to frame up the house around it, and the roof starts to come towards the end of the project, right? So this is what you've got to do with your business as well. Now, this is the secret sauce that nobody's talking about, guys, and I'm going to share with you my formula right here. It's mindset plus beliefs plus goals, and then taking action on those 3 things. That is what's going to create success for you. Major success for you in your business, okay? It's crazy to me that most people don't talk about that. And to be quite honest with you, I think most people just want like the quick fix, right? They want to know, hey, how can I make money in my business now? Like, I totally get that. But if you happen to make money quickly, but you don't have a good foundation set, you're really just, it's a patch, right? It's basically like a one-time thing, or very like a limited window type of thing. Whereas if you can establish the foundation and get things moving properly first, and even if you have an established business, go back and tighten these things up, you're going to find that your business is going to be much more efficient as you move through, okay? So this is really the secret sauce that nobody's talking about. Nobody's really saying, hey, work on your mindset, build your beliefs, set your goals and take action on them. Most people aren't teaching this, and I want you guys to know that this really is the secret sauce, okay? So what you do with it is totally up to you. Let's keep moving. So let's talk about goals. Setting goals is the absolute fastest way to reach your desired outcome. What I find, guys, is that most people just say one day, hey, I want to be in business, or I want to have my own business, and they just like go out and buy a camera and start a Facebook page and start taking clients. And that might be good for a short window, but without a solid set goal, it's going to be really hard to get where you want to go. So, when you set your goals and you commit to those goals, that really is the fastest way to reach your desired outcome. And look, I was in business for quite a while before I actually got to this point where I understood all of this. And I look back sometimes and I'm like, man, if I would have done all of these things right back then, how much further along would I have been today? But you can't look at the past negatively. You look at it all as a learning experience. So if you're in your business now and you've been in for 5 to 10 years and you're not where you want to be, think about retooling and setting some new goals and taking action, okay? Now, without concrete goals, you really don't have anything specific to aim at. And this is a really big deal, guys. Some people just get into business and say, hey, I want to make a lot of money. That's great. We all want to make a lot of money. How much money do you want to make? Like, be specific, okay? I want you to specify that the amount of money you want to make, and then start working on the plans to get there, okay? And then just know, without a specific target, you're going to be spending a lot of time and energy and effort on things that maybe don't even make sense to be going on within your business, right? Like, you could be spinning your wheels in one direction and it not even really be applicable to the goal that you want in the first place. So if you can set a specific target, if you can say, hey, this is what I want in my business, to be very, very specific and clear about that, and you take action towards those things, it's going to be so much better for you in the long run, okay? Now, I feel like my computer is lagging on the slides. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about why goals matter, right? So a lot of times people say, well, why do goals, why do I have to have a set goal? Well, here's my belief. By setting goals that are truly in alignment with what we want, it keeps us accountable. So having a goal that you revisit day in and day out, I mean, literally, if you look at your goal every single day, it's going to, you're going to hold yourself accountable to hitting that goal, to taking steps and taking action towards reaching this goal. If you just kind of go out there and say, hey, I'm going to take photos, I'm going to throw posts up and see what lands, no shame in that, but you're going to have a much harder time. So having set goals will keep you accountable towards hitting those goals. Now, again, the goals are a daily reminder of what we want. And if we really live in the energy of what it is that we want, and that's what we're aiming our goals around, it's going to call us into action. We're going to take action in our business. Now, I know goals can be scary, and especially if you set a lofty goal. So if it is scary, use that fear as motivation to succeed, and just realize nobody had the business of their dreams the first day, the first week, the first month, the first year. Very few people had it the first year, but most people work for at least a decade until they really get where they want to be. So just use the fear of any of the uncertainty. If it's scary, just use that as motivation to propel you forward. Use that as motivation to succeed, and just understand that many people before you have had lofty goals and have been afraid of them, but have worked through them and succeeded, and you can do the same thing. And if the goal doesn't scare you, it's time to set new goals, right? If you can reach a goal really easily, kudos to you, but you need a bigger goal. And the thing is, if it doesn't scare you, it's not gonna change you. You know what I mean? You need it to scare you enough that you take action on it, and it takes a little bit of effort to reach the goal. And if it takes effort and you're willing to put the effort in, it's going to be that much more satisfying when you really get to that point in your business where you've hit your goals. Okay, and then your goals are a mirror of your true desires, and I believe that because I think at our core, when we set a goal, when we truly set a goal that we're after, we set that goal because we want to better our lives, we want to better our families' lives, we want to do more for ourselves that we could have done or than we could have done somewhere else, right? So I think the goal really is a mirror of our true desires. And if you can get in alignment with yourself and really set goals that align with what your purpose is, man, you guys are going to be on fire. Now, I want to share with you one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite speakers. His name is Jim Rohn. He says, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. And what I think is so cool about that is, you can't necessarily change exactly, where you're heading overnight, right? Like I look at it like a ship at sea, right? Let's say you're going a certain direction, you're heading towards your goal, and then all of a sudden something knocks you off track. Well, you can change the shape of the sail, or you can shift the sail around to redirect you or reroute you into a different direction. So even if you're not where you want to be, or even if you don't, even if you don't feel like you're facing that destination that you want to be at right now, you can change your direction, and you can do it now. But you've got to be the one that takes control and takes action and shifts that direction that you're actually heading in. If you just leave it as it is, who knows where the ship's going to end up, right? And I don't like leaving anything to chance myself. I don't feel like that's a smart business plan or strategy. So just know, you're not going to get to that destination overnight, but you can change the direction overnight and start heading in the direction that you really want to be in. And I think that's really important. Okay, so why would I change my direction? Well, here's a couple reasons. For me, when I was thinking about this myself, I would say, hey, the direction I'm currently facing isn't working. It's not serving me. I'm not getting the result that I want in my business. So that would be one of the biggest reasons. If I'm going to do the same thing over and over, I'm most likely going to yield the same result. So if I want a different result, I've got to shift gears and change direction. Repeating the same cycle, pardon the pop up there. Repeating the same cycle that's left you stuck isn't productive. So if you literally just wake up and you do the same thing day in and day out and day in and day out, and you expect to change, then you're really just wishing for something that isn't realistic. You've got to be able to change your direction and change what you're doing to get to that next level. There has to be a better solution that leads to a better result. So again, if you're stuck, if you're not figuring out what you want, if you're not heading the direction you want to go in your business, and you know that there's a better solution, you need to shift gears and start heading that direction, right? Because if you don't head that direction, you're not going to ever be able to hit that destination that you want. Okay? So just know there's no shame in any of this, right? Like, we've all been here. And anytime that I set a higher goal for myself, I realize I've got to make some certain shifts in my life and my business too to get to that point. So, this is a constant thing. We're always evolving and growing. But this was a big one to me, so that you can capitalize and serve at the same time. So what happens if you change your direction, you go to a much better destination, and then you're able to capitalize on the market share, but you're also able to serve your clients at a high level. I mean, you win, they win, everybody's happy. And this is a really big deal, guys. Again, so you can better provide for your family. I mean, what better reason to change your direction than to actually, better your family life, better your personal life, better your professional life, right? And a big one here is that so you don't end up in a 9-to-5 that you hate. I'm gonna move my little window up here to the top. Okay. So you don't end up in a 9-to-5 that you hate. Most people end up in jobs that they don't really love or don't really care about, and they want to, they want something better for their lives. And especially as photographers, if you've got a skill set and you just don't know the way out, this is really big, because the last thing you want to do is wake up in 30 years and realize that you've been at the same job that you hate for the last 30 years. Okay. So this is a really big reason to change direction and start taking action now. And lastly, here is freedom. Okay. I mean, what better reason than freedom? Okay. So what does all of this stuff have to do with setting goals? Well, when I asked myself that question, the answer was simple. It was everything. It had everything to do with setting goals. And I'm not sure why that exclamation point's underneath of this. It wasn't in the original slide. But this has everything to do with setting goals, guys. So let's talk about this a little bit. Before you can set a measurable goal, you need to know where you want to go and what you want to accomplish, okay? So it's really important that you have a direction. Like, you need to basically start with the end in mind, okay? And I read that, I've read that in a lot of places, but the first place I read it that it really stuck with me was a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And one of his biggest concepts is that you always start with the end in mind. And if you start with the end in mind, then you have an idea where you want to go, and you can start working a plan to get there. Okay? That's super important. Most people don't start with the end in mind at all. They start right now and they say, I'm going to work up towards the end, but they don't even really know what the end is. So I'm asking you to clearly define your goal, make it measurable. This is the way I thought about it too. And, it probably makes the most sense for most people. You don't just get in the car and go on a big road trip and don't have a plan, right? Or you don't have a blindfold on. You have a plan for where you want to go. If you're going to do a national, trip and you're going to drive the country, you probably aren't just getting in the car with no plan or no routing, right? You're going to figure out, these are the stops, this is what I want to go, or this is where I want to go, and you're going to take action and move towards each stop. Your business is no different than that. You've got to have a solid plan, okay? So if you can do that, if you can start working on the thought, like start ingraining that thought in your mind, like, if I can just put my plan together, right? Set these measurable goals and determine where I want to go, I'm going to have a much clearer picture. And I'm also going to have more clearly defined steps to get to that result, okay? And not having a clear picture in mind for your business is the same exact thing as that example, driving in the car with no plan. I mean, you need to be able to have a clear picture in your mind of what you want for your business, or you're just really shooting in the dark, okay? So it's really important, guys. Now I'm going to teach you guys how to set reachable goals. And this is really, really good stuff, okay? This goes in line with all of the stuff about mindset and beliefs and setting and laying the foundation. So we're going to talk about how to set reachable goals. The first piece of this is you need to decide what it is that you actually want, okay? So I would highly advise you guys, do not go one more day in your business without knowing what it is that you want first. You need to have just a rock solid mental picture of what it is that you want out of your business. Once you know that, then you have to commit to achieving that goal 100%. Now look, it doesn't mean that you'll achieve it overnight or that it'll be easy, but you know at that point what you're working towards. And it's really important because when you have a plan, when you have a goal and you can start putting pieces in motion to hit that goal, it gets a heck of a lot easier. And I mean that, guys. The difference between where I am today and where I was 10 years ago mostly boils down to all three of these things: mindset, beliefs, and then having a goal and plans, okay? And then what you have to do is all on you. Nobody can do this for you. You've got to take massive action to reach the goal. And you do not stop until you've accomplished what you've set out to accomplish, okay? You can't stop. If you stop, you're going to stall your progress. That doesn't mean you never take a break or, hey, you might be feeling burned out. Take a day off. It's fine. But you at least know when you hop back in the saddle, you know exactly where you're going. And I think that's really important. And one of the biggest things to understand is if you feel like, hey, I've tried and failed and tried and failed. Again, we've touched on this earlier in this series. Failure and success are very closely knitted. They're very tightly interwoven. And you can ask any successful business owner who's achieved success how many failures they had. And every one of them will tell you, if they're being honest, way more failures than successes. That's just a part of the game, okay? So just know, if you're taking action, if you've got these goals, you're not where you want to be, failure is okay. As long as you use the failure as a learning opportunity and you get up and you keep going, you're going to find yourself at the end at that goal much faster than 95% of your colleagues or more. And so I want to introduce you guys to SMART goals. SMART goals really changed my life. And a lot of this is what we've been talking about already, but let's just dig in. I'll try to keep it short for you guys. But S is for specific. So what are the exact things that you want to achieve in your business? Make a list of these things. Write it down. Put it on paper. Measurable. You want to identify exactly what you feel, see, hear when you reach these goals, right? So define the exact outcome that you want to achieve and start feeling, like literally feel what it's like to achieve those goals, okay? Attainable. Now, is this really an acceptable goal to pursue? So you can set lofty goals, but also consider what would be necessary to achieve them at the same time. For example, if you've never done, let's say $100,000 in a business year, and you're like, I want to do $1 million this year, right? Like that goal might not be realistic because, now I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's not necessarily realistic because you need to get to that first step first. You need to hit the 100K mark, then set the higher goal, right? And I think this is the cool thing about goals. You can set them as high as you want, but if they're more attainable for you, they're not going to take as long to reach in most cases. And I think that's a good feeling for people to complete goals and have that sense of accomplishment. Every goal in my career that I've hit has been a milestone goal, and I've set a higher milestone goal after that. And I think that's really important that you do the same thing. So make it attainable. Don't put it so far out of reach that it takes forever to get there and you lose momentum. Now, relevant. Is the goal you're after actually relevant to who you are? So when I think of relevance in a goal, like I'm not going to set a goal to be like the freaking best farmer. I would never be a farmer. I couldn't handle that, but that just came out of thin air. But yeah, would you set a goal to be the best farmer if you were trying to be the best photographer? No, not really. There's no relevance there, right? Unless you were planning on leaving photography to be a farmer. So the idea is that you want to make sure that the goal you're setting has relevance to what it is that you do. So like maybe you want to photograph 100 sessions in a year. Great, that's relevant to your business. Or maybe you want to make 100K in revenues this year. Great, that's relevant to your business. So just set relevant goals. And then time-based. This is important too. You have to give yourself a deadline, right? So set a deadline and move into action now. Because if you don't, you're going to be wasting money. The thing is, every minute that you waste, you're wasting dollars as well. You cannot ever get time back. So when they say time is money, really time is more valuable than money because you cannot get the time back. You can make more money. You cannot make more time. So the reason you want to take action right now, once you've got all these goals set, is because you can't get this moment right here back. It's gone. It's never coming back. So you have to take action and live inspired to hit those goals, okay? And action is the catalyst for all success. You've got to take action. You cannot have a business that succeeds without taking action, okay? And I've got a little, I created a SMART goal worksheet a while back, and I'm going to link you guys to it. I'll post it in the comments here after this recording. But yeah, if you can read that, it's bit.ly. It's just a bit.ly/7s6f smart. You can download that for free. Just go to that link and it'll list out like how you can start setting your SMART goals. Okay, so check that out, and I think you guys will really like that. Let's talk about the 3 things that you must always do. Okay, when you set a goal, when you're making progress towards a goal, when you're working towards a goal, you need to, 1, always monitor your results and see what worked and how well it worked. For instance, if you run an ad campaign, like see how well your ads did. If you put something out there to, like on your Facebook page, and you were expecting 100 people to respond, but 4 people responded. Well, figure out, okay, what worked, what could be better, what could be improved on, right? And that's step 2. Always review the ways that you can improve for the next round. So the thing is, if something doesn't work the first 100 times, that's okay. Like, you keep moving towards the goal that you want, making progress, and ultimately it will work because you'll start to refine along the way and figure out the things that don't work and change those things. So always review the ways that you can improve so that the next round is better. And then 3, always celebrate your wins no matter how small. We talk about this ad nauseum in our program with our clients. We need to celebrate every single win, guys. Every little win, doesn't matter. Started a Facebook page or got a $5,000 sale. Either way, one's a smaller win, one's a huge win. They're all wins, and every win stacks and builds momentum. And that creates massive leverage in your business, because as you continue to build wins and confidence and momentum, then like you bring a certain confidence into your business and your clients, and they feed off of that, right? And people love to work with people who are confident. Nobody likes to work with people who are mopey or businesses that seem like off-putting. So if you celebrate every win as progress, you're going to see that your confidence is going to build exponentially in your business, okay? And it's going to improve every area of your business for that reason. All right, so celebrate those wins, big or small. And guys, last but not least, as we always say, if you have questions, if you need help getting to the next level, if anything isn't clear about this message today, look, if you're stuck or you're frustrated or you want to figure out how to get to the next level, we want to see you succeed in such a big way. And we're here for you. We've got your back, and we want you to book a call with us, okay? On these calls, we get really super clear about what it is in your business that needs addressing. If we can help you put a game plan together to figure out how to get to the next level, we're happy to do it. And if not, we'll point you in another direction. That's cool too. But if you want to chat, if you want to get your business to that next level, hit the link below, 7steps6figures/apply, or .com/apply. Just book a call. Again, totally free call. This entire 30-day training is free. This is something we wanted to do just to give back into the community. But I really want to see you guys who are serious about your businesses crushing it, okay? 2020 hasn't gotten off to the start that we all sort of hoped for. But guys, I'm telling you, business is still good. Things are happening. People are booking. And, this isn't the end. Like, coronavirus isn't the end of anything. Like, if anything, we're able to get better now because we can focus more on our businesses, okay? So with that being said, again, hit that link if you guys want to chat. We would be happy to get on with you and talk. And just again, thank you guys for being here and a part of this community. If you have friends that want to learn, that need to learn, that maybe they're photographers, obviously, that want to take their businesses to the next level, please invite them to the group, and we would love to have them in and welcome them in. And this is something where we want to give back to everybody. We want everybody who has a passion about photography to be able to show up, to be able to create dream businesses and dream revenue, and quit their 9-to-5s and provide for their family. Okay, so with that being said, hope you guys have an amazing day. I promise you we're going to get into some more of the sales and marketing and lighting and the super fun stuff later. But please just take this seriously. Lay the right foundation now so that you don't have to go back in another 5 years and fix it, okay? Hope you guys have an amazing day. I will talk to you on the next video.